Hello to all of you English lovers. In this video, I have combined all my slow English podcasts together and made them one long video, one longer than usual video, so you can listen to all of them while you're sleeping or you're working or while you're cooking and doing the household chores. And today I want to take you on a little journey through my daily routine so you can improve your listening while learning some new phrases and vocabulary. So close your eyes unless you're driving and imagine you're with me as my day begins. The sun peeks through the curtains and my alarm buzzes softly on my nightstand. I groan a little and stretch my arms and slowly open my eyes. It's 7 a.m. Time to start the day. I turn off the alarm and lay there for a few moments, listening to the quietness of the morning. The world is waking up outside. Birds are chirping. A distant car hums down the road. And I can hear a faint sound of someone walking in the apartment above me. With a deep breath, I sit up and swing my feet onto the floor. It's a little bit cold, so I quickly slip on my slippers and head to the bathroom. I look in the mirror. Messy hair, sleepy eyes. Yes, definitely time to wake up properly. I grab my toothbrush and I squeeze some minty toothpaste onto it. As I brush my teeth, I'm thinking about my day. What do I need to do? What's my plan? After brushing my teeth, I splash cold water on my face. That wakes me up instantly. I dry my face with a soft towel and smile at myself in the mirror. Good morning, Kaman. Let's start a great day. Now it's time to shower. The warm water feels relaxing, and the smell of my favorite shampoo fills the air. I take my time, enjoying the moment before stepping out and wrapping myself into a fluffy towel. I walk to my closet and pick my clothes. What should I wear today? Something comfortable but nice. I put on my outfit, run a comb through my hair, and check myself in the mirror for the last time. Now, the best part, breakfast. I walk into the kitchen, the wooden floor cool under my feet. I open the fridge and grab some eggs and bread. I turn on the stove and crack the eggs into a pan. The smell of breakfast fills the kitchen. As I wait, I check my phone. A few messages and an update. My eggs are ready. I quickly put everything on a plate and make myself a cup of coffee. I sit at the table and take a deep breath and enjoy the first bite. The eggs are perfect and the toast is crispy. The coffee, the smell is killing me. After breakfast, I take my cup of coffee to the window and look outside. The sky is bright. People are walking to work or school. The world is moving and it's time for me to move too. I grab my bag, check the time, and take the last sip of the coffee. Alright, let's go. I slip on my shoes, open the door, step outside, and ready to start my day. And that's my morning. I'm gonna cover all the questions you need to know before traveling to an English-speaking country. If you want to know how to ask about directions and addresses and many more things, this video is the right video for you. This video is called Situational English, where you learn English based on different situations. I'm gonna repeat each question twice. The first time with a slow pace and the second time with a natural pace. And you can repeat each time after me so you can memorize and learn the questions. Imagine you're traveling by train and you want to know about train times for Cambridge. What do you ask? Could you tell me the times of trains to Cambridge? Please. Could you tell me the times of trains to Cambridge, please? And then you want to know if you can stay on the same train all the way. What do you ask? You ask, do I need to change? And then you want to know how long the journey is. How long does it take to get there? How long does it take to get there? So, how do you ask if you want to get anything to eat or drink on the train? What do you ask? Is there a buffet service on the train? Now faster. Is there a buffet service on the train? So, there is a platform in front of you and there is a train on it. And you want to check if that's your train. Excuse me, is this the right train for Cambridge? Excuse me, is this the right train for Cambridge? And on the train, you see an empty seat, but someone is sitting on the next seat. What do you ask that person? Excuse me, is this seat free? Excuse me, is this seat free? Now you want to talk to the person next to you and you want to ask him if he's going the same direction you are going. What do you ask? Excuse me, are you getting off at Cambridge by any chance? So, excuse me, are you getting off at Cambridge by any chance? And now you'd like him to tell you if you are near where you have to get off. What do you ask him? Could you tell me when we are nearly there, please? Could you tell me when we are nearly there, please? The next situation is traveling by bus or going somewhere by bus. And the first situation, the first question is, you want to ask how often the buses to the city center are. How often do the buses to the city centers run? How often do the buses to the city center run? And then you want to know the latest time you can return. What do you ask? What time is the last bus back? Now you can see the bus and you can see the driver. And now you want to ask the driver for a ticket to the city center. And you want to know if a return ticket is a ticket where you can go and return. When you can go somewhere and go back to the first place. And you want to know whether a return ticket is cheaper. Cheaper, you have to pay less money. City center, please. Is it cheaper to get a return? City center, please. Is it cheaper to get a return? Now you're going to the hospital and you see a bus at the bus stop. What do you ask the driver? You ask him, excuse me, does this bus go to the hospital? Excuse me, does this bus go to the hospital? So, you see, there is a huge difference when you're speaking slow English and when you're speaking fast English. Try to repeat each sentence so many times with a slow pace and then gradually make it faster. And you don't know the place very well and you'd like the driver tell you when it's your stop. What do you ask? Could you tell me when to get off, please? Could you tell me when to get off, please? Be sure, if you ask someone for something, but in a polite tone, they surely will respond to you with a yes. I hope so. The third and the last situation for this video is you are in a car and we have some car situations. So let's see. You're driving a car and you see two friends walking home. How do you offer to take them with you? What do you ask? Would you like a lift? Would you like a lift? Would you like a lift? And let's change the situation. If someone gives you a lift, how do you tell them when you want to get out? Could you drop me off here, please? Could you drop me off here, please? Could you drop me off here, please? So it means I want you to stop the car and I want to get out of the car and I want to walk. So you've pre-planned to drive a friend to somewhere. You've fixed the time and the time is 7 o'clock. You say, I'll pick you up. Picking up something means I'm picking up my phone. But if you pick a person up, it means you are their driver and you want to drive them somewhere. So I'll pick you up at 7. It means I will come for you at 7 and I will give you a lift to your destination. So I'll pick you up at 7. Now you're driving to Elm Street, but you think you've gone the wrong way. What do you ask someone? You stop the car, you ask a person, excuse me, I'm lost. Is this the right way to Elm Street? Or is this the right road for Elm Street? And they respond to you. You have a map in your hands. And what do you ask that person? Could you show me where I'm on the map, please? Could you show me where I'm on the map, please? How to introduce yourself like a pro. Let me ask you something. Have you been in the situation where you had to introduce yourself to someone and suddenly your mind went blank? You didn't know what to say, or maybe you said something that was not right. But don't worry, in this episode, I'm gonna show you how to introduce yourself in English confidently and naturally. Stick around until the end because at the end of this video, I have a fun challenge for you so you can remember everything that you learned today. Let me take you back to my first time learning to speak English. I was so excited. I had practiced my English in front of the mirror so many times. But when I met a native speaker, I panicked. Instead of saying, "Hi, I'm Kamand," I said something completely different. And I said my age instead of my name. I was like, "Hi, I'm 15. Really? That's when I learned introducing yourself in English language may seem easy and simple, but even small mistakes can make a big difference and can change everything. So, today I'm going to make sure that you don't make the same mistake I did. Hello, my name is Kamand. Nice to meet you. Or in a more casual way, you can say, "Hi, I'm Kamand. Nice to see you." Super simple, but let's make it even better. A great introduction doesn't stop at saying your name. You have to give the listener more details. And let me show you a simple formula you can follow for your introduction. First, you have to tell your name. Hi, I'm Kamant. Or hello, my name is Kamant. Then you have to say where you're from. Like, I'm from Iran. And third, you have to talk about what you do. You have to talk about your job. I'm an English teacher. I'm a teacher. Like, I work as a teacher. Then you have to say something that is interesting about you. Like, I love reading books. I love watching animes. And the last step is to give a friendly ending. Like, it's great to meet you. Now let's hear a full example. Hi, my name is Kamand. I'm from Iran. I work as an English teacher and I love reading books and watching animes. And that's great to see you. That's great to meet you. Now you read this one. Great. Now it's your turn to put in the comment section an introduction about yourself. So I get to know you better. As you know, introducing yourself can change in different situations. So let's practice some scenarios together. So imagine you're at the airport and you're meeting with a traveler. Imagine you're waiting for your flight and you start talking with someone next to you. Hi, my name is Layla. I'm from Australia and I'm visiting New York for the first time. What about you? Great. Next scenario. You're at work and you're meeting a new colleague. You know that if you're starting a new job, you have to introduce yourself to your colleagues, to your co-workers, and you have to do it professionally. Hello, my name is Anna, and I just joined the team as a marketing assistant. I'm really excited to work with all of you. Now, you respond to me with the text on the screen. Great! Now, the next scenario. You're at a party and you have to introduce yourself in a friendly tone. You know, a casual introduction is more relaxed and you can add fun facts about you. Hey, my name is Sarah. I love playing guitar and hiking. How about you? Now, you respond to me with the text on the screen. Great. It's time to talk about some common mistakes people make while introducing themselves to others. The first mistake is saying, my name is Kamand, which is wrong. You have to say, I'm Kamand or my name is Kamand. You cannot mix two sentences with each other. The second mistake is they speak too fast when they first meet someone, which is wrong. You have to slow down, take a deep breath, and start talking with a slower pace. And the third mistake is they forget to smile. You know, smiling is the best way to create a connection, to make a connection with someone you just met. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video with me. In this episode of our Slow English podcast, I'm gonna talk about job interviews and the words and the phrases you need when you're taking part in a job interview. So I want to start this video with a personal story of mine. When I had a job interview in English and I didn't know much English. And let me tell you, I was really nervous. Not because I didn't know the answers, but because I didn't know how to say the answers in English. I remember the day exactly. I just finished my university. I was excited and hopeful, but also scared. I had applied for a teaching job at a private English institute. But here was a twist. The whole interview was in English. Yes, I had been studying English for some years, but I was struggling to speak it. I was confident in grammar and I could write well, but speaking in a high pressure situation like this, oh my god, I would have been dead. So, the night before the interview, I sat down and I started to write some common questions that they might ask in an interview of me. And the questions were: tell me about yourself. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Why do you want this job? What are your long-term goals? So, I wrote them down and I practiced for many hours in front of the mirror. I was talking to myself and practicing these questions and the possible response I could give to them. So, I was trying to sound confident, polished, and professional. But deep inside, I was really scared. What if I forget one word? What happens then? And what if they ask me something and I don't understand it? What then? What's going to happen? The next morning, I went to the interview with my best clothes on. And let me take you to the interview room. There were two people, the head teacher and another interviewer. They smiled and said, "Good morning, please have a seat." And I said, "Good morning, thank you very much." And I sat down nervously. They asked me, "So, can you tell a little bit about yourself?" Well, I've been practicing this question many times, so fortunately, I was happy and I said, "Hi, my name is Kemand and I recently graduated in English teaching field. I'm passionate about teaching and I love helping students speak confidently in English." So, this part was easy. Then they asked, "Why do you want to work at our school?" And that's how I respond. "I've heard great things about your teaching style, and I believe your school focuses on communication, not just grammar. That matches my approach as a teacher." So, this question, I had practiced it, so it was the easy one. Then came the scary part. What is your biggest weakness? At this time, I froze for a moment and then I put myself together and I said, "Sometimes I try to be perfect and it makes me to spend extra time on small and unnecessary tasks. But I'm learning to manage my time better." They smiled after hearing this, and I thought, okay, they liked my answer and I killed the interview. But then came the surprising part. They suddenly said, okay, I'm gonna give you a task. Imagine this. You're teaching at the classroom in a beginner level classroom. A student says, I go to the store yesterday. How would you correct them? Oh my god. A grammar mistake in the past tense and a situational question? I was freezed again. And that's how I respond. I would gently say, gently. Actually, the correct word is went. So, the correct form of the sentence is I went to store yesterday. And then I would explain that the verb go is irregular in the past tense. So at this time, they nodded. And I could feel that I was getting more comfortable by answering more questions and trying to be confident, even if I couldn't come up with a 100% correct answer. It's an interview, it's not an exam. You have to be honest as much as possible, and you have to give the interviewer honest and gentle answers. So I'm gonna pause the story here, and now I'm gonna highlight some phrases, some key phrases you can use in your own interview. If you just finished university, you can say, I recently graduated in, and you can say your field. I recently graduated in English teaching. And the next phrase is, I'm passionate about. Thing here you have to say is what this job will offer you. I'm passionate about helping others. I'm passionate about teaching. I'm passionate about building confidence in English learners. Anything that you're passionate about and is related to the job you want to take. One of my strengths is, for example, I'm an organized person. Actually, this is not my strength. So one of my strengths is I like to communicate with people, and I think I can handle communications very well. One weakness I'm working on is being too detail focused. That's exactly me. I believe your company is a great fit because I've heard great things about your teaching style. Because I know that you're doing your best to help people build their confidence. These phrases were flexible phrases. You can adapt them to your own personal situation and the company you want to interview with. Now let's go back to the story. After about 20 minutes, they said, do you have any questions for us? Keep in mind, this is really important part of an interview because when they ask you this, you have to ask them a question. You have to ask them something because that shows you are confident and you believe in yourself and what you want to do. So I asked them, yes, could you tell me a little bit about the team I'll be working with? So this was a smart question, and try to ask smart questions from the interviewer as well, Because in this question, I showed them that I'm really hopeful for getting this job and I think I can make it. I think I'm gonna get the job. At this moment, they laughed and they didn't answer. They just said, "Thank you for coming. We will contact you soon." I think this part really stressed me out, but I was happy with the whole process. I was satisfied with what I did, with the words I chose, and I said, "So you should be doing the same." So I smiled, I shook their hands, and I walked out of the room feeling proud and smiling. The next day, I got a phone call. "Congratulations, we'd love to have you on our team." So I was on cloud nine. I was over the moon. I was so happy that I couldn't describe my mood. I was excited. It was one of the best moments of my life, not because I got the job, which I loved to get it, but because I knew that I could do hard things in English as well. And my efforts have paid back. So, if you have an English interview coming up, I'm gonna give you some advice, some tips that you're gonna need them. Before anything, if you can guess what are the questions might be, prepare the answers before going to the interview. Second, practice those answers by speaking out loud, speaking with a friend, or even just talking to yourself in front of a mirror. Third, learn some flexible phrases. You can use them in every situations, in different situations. So don't focus on just using one phrase. Try to learn some more phrases, flexible phrases to use them in different situations. And the most important tip I can give you is believe in yourself. Whether you get the job or not, you have to believe in yourself. If you get it, congratulations. And if you don't, I'm sure there are plenty of other opportunities out there waiting for you. A short story about a man. Mr. Jones had a few days holiday. So he said, "I'm going to go to the mountains by train." He put on his best clothes, took a small bag, went to the station, and got into the train. He had a beautiful hat, and he often put his head out of the window during the trip and looked at the mountains. But this time, something strange happened. The wind pulled his hat off. Mr. Jones quickly took his old bag and threw that out of the window too. The other people in the carriage laughed. "Is your bag going to bring your beautiful hat back?" they asked. "No," Mr. Jones said, "but there is no name and no address in my hat. And there is a name and an address on my bag. Someone is going to find them near each other, and he's going to send me the bag and the hat." Many short and funny stories. So you can listen to them and improve your listening while sleeping or cooking or cleaning. Anything you like. Just listen to them carefully. An old lady went to the shopping last Tuesday. She came to a bank and saw a car near the door. A man got out of it and went to the bank. She looked in the car. The keys were in the lock. The old lady took the keys and followed the man into the bank. The man took a gun out of his pocket and said to the clerk, "Give me all the money." But the old lady didn't see this. She went to the man and put his keys in his hand and said, "Young man, you're stupid. Never leave your keys in your car. Someone's going to steal it." The man looked at the old woman for a few seconds. Then he looked at the clerk and then he took his keys, ran out of the bank, got into his car, and drove away quickly without any money. Now let's go on for the second story of this video. Mary was an English girl, but she lived in Rome. She was 6 years old. Last year, her mother said to her, "You're 6 years old now, Mary, and you're going to begin going to school here. You're going to like it very much because it's a nice school." "Is it an English school?" Mary said. "Yes, it is," her mother said. Mary went to the school and enjoyed her lessons. Her mother always took her to school in the morning and brought her back in the afternoon. Last Monday, her mother went to school at 4 o'clock, and Mary ran out of her class. "We've got a new girl in our class today, Mommy," she said. "She's 6 years old too, and she is very nice. But she isn't English. She's German." "Does she speak English?" Mary's mother asked. "No, but she laughs in English," Mary said happily. Mrs. Jones didn't have a husband, but she had 2 sons. They were big, strong boys, but they were lazy. On Sundays, they didn't go to school, and then their mother always said, "Please cut the grass in the garden this afternoon." The boys didn't like it, but they always did it. Then somebody gave the boys a magazine, and then he saw a picture of a beautiful lawnmower in it. There was a seat on it, and then there was a woman on the seat. The boy took the picture to his mother and brother and said to them, "Look, that woman's sitting on the lawnmower and driving it and cutting the grass. We want one of these. One of those lawnmowers? His mother asked. No, the boy said. We want one of those women. Then she can cut the grass every week. Now let's go to the next story. One of Harry's feet was bigger than the other. I can never find boots and shoes for my feet, he said to his friend Dick. Why don't you go to a shoemaker? Dick said. A good one can make you the right shoe. I've never been to a shoemaker, Harry said. Aren't they very expensive? No, Dick said. Some of them aren't. And here's a good one in our village. He's quite cheap. Here's his address. He wrote something on a piece of paper and gave it to the Harry. Harry went to the shoemaker in the Dick's village a few days later, and the shoemaker made him some shoes. Harry went to the shoemaker again a week later. He looked at the shoes. Shoemaker Dick. Then he said to the shoemaker angrily, You're a silly man. I said make one bigger than the other, but you made one smaller than the other. Let's go to the next story. Joe Richards finished school when he was 18. And then his father said to him, You've passed your examinations now, and you got good marks in them. Now go and get some good work too. They're looking for clever people to work at the bank in the town. The clerks there get quite a lot of money now. A few days later, Joe went to the bank and asked for work. A man took him to a small room and gave him some questions on a piece of paper. Joe wrote his answers on the paper and gave them to the man. The man looked at the paper for a few seconds. Then he took a pen. Your birthday was on the 12th of June, Mr. Richard? Yes, sir, Joe said. What year? The man asked. Oh, every year, sir, Joe said. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on my channel. Now let's continue stories, and this one is being told in simple present tense. Fred works in a factory. He does not have a wife, and he gets quite a lot of money every week. He loves cars and has a new one every year. He likes driving very fast, and he always buys small, fast, red cars. He sometimes takes her mother out in them, and his mother always says, But Fred, why do you drive these cars? were almost sitting on the road. Then Fred laughs and is happy. He likes being very near the road. Fred is very tall and very fat. Last week, he came out of a shop and went to his car. There was a small boy near the car. He was looking at it, the beautiful red car. Then he looked up and saw Fred. "How do you get into the small car?" he asked Fred. Fred laughed and said, "I don't get into it. I put it on." Now let's go to the next story. Mr. and Mrs. Yates had one daughter. Her name was Carol, and she was 19 years old. She lived with her parents and she worked in an office. Carol had some friends, but she didn't like any of the boys very much. Then she met a very nice man. His name was George Watts, and he worked in a bank near her office. They went out quite a lot, and he came to Carol's parents' house twice. And then last week, Carol went to her father and said, "I want to marry George. I want to marry George Watts, Daddy. He was here yesterday." "Oh, yes," her father said. "He's a nice boy, but has he got any money?" "Oh, man, all of you are the same," Carol said angrily. "I met George on the 1st of June, and on the 2nd he said, 'Has your father got any money?'" These are really short, funny stories. You can improve your listening just by listening to them. And if you want to practice the stories, you can pause and shadow what I say and then play and listen again. The next story. Miss William was a teacher and there were 30 students in her class. They were nice children and Miss Williams loved them all. But they often lost clothes. It was winter and the weather was very cold. The children's mothers always sent them to school with warm clothes like coats and hats and gloves and boots. The children came to school in the morning and they took off their winter and warm clothes, gloves, and hats. They put their coats and hats on hooks on the wall, and they put their gloves in the pockets of coats. Last Tuesday, Miss Williams found 2 small blue gloves on the floor. And in the next morning, she said to the children, "Whose gloves are these?" But no one answered. She looked at the Fred and said, "Haven't you got blue gloves, Fred?" "Yes, miss," he answered. "But those can't be mine, because I've lost mine." Whitebridge was a small village, and old people often came and lived there. Some of them had a lot of old furniture, and they often didn't want some of them because they were in a smaller house now. Every Saturday morning, they put some of it out, and other people came and looked at it. And sometimes they took them because they wanted it. Every Saturday, Mr. and Mrs. Martin put a very ugly old bear's head out at the side of their gate, but nobody wanted it. Then, last Saturday, they wrote something on it. I'm very lonely here. Please take me. They put the piece of paper near the bear's head. They went to the town and came home in the evening. There were now 2 bears' heads in front of their house, and another piece of paper near to the second head, and it was written on it, I was lonely too.